Alex and I met by chance at a neighborhood soccer tournament on a warm fall afternoon with a lively crowd of fans. The air smelled of freshly cut grass and the faint aroma of hot dogs from a nearby vendor, providing the perfect backdrop for an unexpected friendship. He played great defense and I stood in on goal. After the match we got to talking, and it turned out we had a lot in common, so we became friends. Alex lived in a big house in Meadowfield with his parents. His father worked as some kind of important boss at the factory and was always away on business trips. In all the time I'd known Alex, I'd only seen his father a couple of times, a serious man in a suit. On the contrary, Linda, Alex's mother, was always at home, doing housework, cooking amazing pies, and generally creating a cozy atmosphere. She always greeted us with a warm smile, offered us something tasty, and asked about our studies and sports with genuine curiosity, and her kind eyes lit up when she listened attentively. That Friday in late September, Alex called me and told me he'd bought a new console. "Let's play FIFA," he suggested. I was free and the weather was cold and rainy, so an hour later I was at their house. Alex was the only one home. Linda had gone to a friend's cottage for the weekend, and his father was away on a business trip, as usual. We set up in the living room, turned on the big TV, got chips and Coke, and played soccer for 3 hours. Then we got bored. Alex remembered that he had to go into town right away to get his college application papers. "Sit here while I go back and forth quickly," he said. I decided to wait, especially since we planned to meet the guys for kebabs in the evening, and it was a short walk from Alex's house to the meeting place. I was sitting alone, watching TV, when I heard the key turn in the lock. I thought Alex had forgotten something, but it was Linda. It turned out that her friend had gotten sick and had to come back. She was surprised to see me, of course, but not very much. I was a frequent visitor. She went to the kitchen to make tea and invited me to sit and talk with her. She made some special herbal tea and brought out some homemade cookies. She began to tell me about her youth, how she went to college with dreams of becoming a teacher, how she worked part-time to make ends meet, and how she met Alex's father in the campus library when he helped her find a book for her thesis. Her eyes glistened as she remembered those carefree days filled with laughter, late-night study sessions, and the excitement of young love. She looked so beautiful in her homemade dress and loose hair. It was already getting dark outside and the rain was getting heavier. Linda got up to close the curtains. I was just getting up to put my cup on the table, and then we bumped into each other. She staggered, and I reached out my hand to support her. Somehow I didn't remove my hand, and she didn't pull away. We stood close together. I could smell her perfume, and my heart was pounding like crazy. She looked at me in a way that made me forget about everything about her being my friend's mom, about her being married, about the fact that Alex could come back at any moment. Later, we were sitting on the couch in the living room, her stroking my hair and humming something softly. Suddenly, the key turned in the lock. We jumped up as if we'd been electrocuted. Alex came in, luckily not noticing anything, absorbed in telling us about his adventures in the city. Linda, as if nothing had happened, was in the kitchen preparing dinner. I sat there on pins and needles, afraid to even look in our direction. It never happened again. I started visiting Alex less often. After a couple months, I stopped coming altogether. I found a job in a different neighborhood and made new friends. But sometimes, especially in the evenings, I remembered that day. That fall story is forever etched in my memory, not only as a fleeting moment of forbidden enchantment, but also as a poignant reminder of the complexity of human connections and the bittersweet nature of desires that can never be fulfilled.